There is a way to leave what you are transitioning from, what you may be burning down, with integrity, with honoring who you are and who you are becoming. And we are going to get into it today with tarot. I've been sitting here with Spirit in this energy, and a lot has come up, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you. But we're going to specifically ask today what you are bringing into this next step through this portal. What must stay behind? What values are guiding this crossing? Where your integrity might be tested? A next step, a specific next step, and any advice from Spirit. All right. So, okay. I got some random things as I was sitting here, but they came through like very specifically. So I got the redwood, and I saw redwood trees, and I saw actually this necklace that I have that has pieces of redwood in it, just the redwood needles. But I got specifically the words, the redwood. So I wanted to share that. And then a quote as if you were saying it to somebody: "You won't let me be a growing person." So I wonder if from this transition you felt like you weren't seen as someone who was growing, or your growth wasn't being honored by someone or something. You know, it could be even like in a business, right? Sometimes we have to completely leave an old business behind as we form a new one because it wasn't recognizing, it wasn't going with our growth. But it could be relationship wise. I got the color blue. That stood out to me, though I didn't see it. What I actually experienced was I saw someone else saying they saw the color blue. You forgot to set an intention. And the way that I interpreted this was as if going through this transition was a practice, like a meditation practice. And so many people at the beginning of a meditation practice or breathwork practice will set an intention at the beginning. And it was almost as if looking at your experience of life right now, your transition in life, as if that was a practice and that you need to have an intention, and you forgot to set your intention. And then I got this in my meditation, really I saw like the wind going over, not under, but over a hawk's wings, and recognizing the currents in the air as roads, and then the currents in the sea and the oceans as roads. And the roads of the ocean bring us to where we need to be brought if only we trust. And it reminded me of this movie about this man who he believes, and this was proven for a while, but I think has since been disproven. I'm not sure. But anyways, in the movie, this man believes that the Polynesian people actually originally came from Peru, came from South America, and not from Asia like it had been believed before. And he said because of the currents from Peru to Polynesia and to all those islands, and that the current would just take you right there, and nobody believed him. And so he just built a raft, and he had to trust. And there was a number of men on the raft. It was a really crazy movie, but it was so much about trust. And so that's what I'm getting from this, is as if maybe almost our life, right, is this river within the ocean that is simply taking us, and we need to trust it, because in that movie there was just so much trust involved. They were not believing that they were going to be going in the right direction because they were heading north instead of west. and so many of the men wanted to kind of take over and not trust the process. And there was a lot of fighting about that. And then it happened, and they were taken by this current and taken all the way across the ocean. So it was incredible. So, and then the last thing was I very specifically saw stars, and it was like a specific constellation, but not one that's known. So that was interesting. So let's see what comes out of this. Very exciting. Okay, so we are going to start. I'm going to do all of the cards face down. And usually if something comes up first, that I kind of take that as our theme. That doesn't always happen. So if something comes out, which it just did. Strength. Oh my gosh. Strength. So that is our theme. As with all my readings, I want to remind you that we are in control of our lives. Tarot helps us to have insight into our own souls. It's a way of speaking with spirit and understanding ourselves better so that we may make good choices. Sometimes we do have things that talk about the future within these readings, but you're in control of your future. So we want to responsibly use the cards here and remember how much strength we have. I love this theme of strength because I'm associating it with what I was just talking about with the ocean currents. It takes a lot of strength to have trust. A lot of strength. Like, it took a lot of strength in that movie for the men to not take over and take the reins and switch things around. Oh, I want to turn this one over. Ooh, the shadow. I got from that, I heard strength in trusting your shadow. Sometimes we're afraid of our shadows. I hear that a lot, like the shadow seems so scary, but the shadow is just part of ourselves and we have a lot to learn from it. So we have a lot of strength within our shadow, within being able to face our shadows with love, I'm hearing. And I'm really seeing within these two sides and being able to merge the two, to face them, to face the shadow with love and recognition that the shadow is our teacher, is our love. Okay, so what you are bringing across this threshold with integrity, connection, and the stone. This is really interesting. The stone. What is the stone, Spirit? Stone of connection. Happy memories and reminiscing. I'm really seeing this as like a positive of being able to turn through the stone. And I'm going to ask Spirit more about what this stone is. But what you're bringing is the ability to turn what was like negative nostalgia, almost, of like looking back on something and feeling negative about it, even though it might have been a positive thing, but having maybe sadness, grief, painful, I want to say painfulness, just pain around it. But the ability, like what you're bringing is the ability to slowly to slowly turn that into a positive connection through this stone. Okay, Spirit, what is this stone though? What is this stone? An amethyst. The amethyst stone. And I'm seeing the symbols of protection that I use. I gotta cover her. We have the Star of David, which is an ancient symbol, even before Judaism. And it is an incredible symbol of protection because of the two triangles together. But it's interesting. The stone, the amethyst, transformation, certainty, and confidence. So your stone, and look at this look at the purples within that. We have the same like colors going on. Hold on. Within that stone and this card. So this stone is the amethyst, and I am feeling drawn to actually read this. So the stone, this is so pretty. Oh, a profound transformation is taking place in your life. After much soul searching, you are now back in control. A new you is emerging, poised and with a renewed sense of confidence. You can move forward with certainty. The past is now behind you. The hard work has been done. All you have to do is decide what it is that you truly want. Oh my gosh. This is, okay. All is now possible. Listen to your heart and don't settle for second best. Set your course and then go for it. Be certain, be confident, and all is yours for the taking. Blessed be. I give thanks for the transformation and healing that has taken place. I move through life with gratitude, move through life with certainty, move through life with confidence. I achieve my goals. What I focus on, I create. This stone, this amethyst, is certainty. It's this trust. It's like beyond trust. It's this certainty that if you just stay on the current, it's going to get you there. So that's what you're bringing into this, is this certainty. And I'm seeing it through connection and through this certainty, and that was talking about gratitude. You might not be feeling it right now, and that's okay. But that gratitude is what is going to help you. And I just lost my train of thought. To help you to reminisce on the past, on to have to transform that nostalgia into, it doesn't have to be positive all the time, but into gratitude. And that is what you're bringing into it, like certainty that this is going to happen. It doesn't mean it's happened right now, but that you have the ability to hold on to this stone. Maybe get a stone, maybe get an amethyst to hold on to as your reminder of this certainty that, okay, if I just continue on this path and just trust, it's going to transform these feelings into gratitude. And I'm hearing it's going to transform it into gratitude through having gratitude. So maybe, and it's funny that this is coming up because I just had an experience of, in prayer, what came out of my mouth was a gratitude for someone, which I haven't been feeling gratitude for what this person had done to me in the past. And then all of a sudden it just like came out of my mouth. And then this ability, if I just speak it into existence, the feeling will follow. Whew. Okay, so that is what you are bringing. You're bringing this stone. You're bringing this stone. Okay. What must stay behind now? Okay, and that's interesting. I just picked up this card and it spun the bottom card around. Oh. What must stay behind? It's the Nine of Swords. Anxiety, worry, fear. Fear needs to stay behind, but it's interesting that it's spun. I wonder if you are like going back and forth where you have this anxiety, and then it goes away. You're having a lot of fear, and then you recognize that fear and it goes away and then it comes back. And so it's this fear, hopelessness, despair that needs to stay behind. Worry needs to stay behind. That's easier said than done, though. Much easier said than done. Okay, and we had safety in reverse. A feeling of not being safe needs to stay behind. Wildness and electricity in reverse. And the vow in reverse. A broken vow. Maybe a broken vow to yourself, or maybe somebody had betrayed you, broken a vow. Their broken vow needs to stay behind. Your anxiety, your turmoil, all of that, it's time. It's time. And we need to turn this wildness and electricity card, whoop, this way. The lack of this needs to stay behind. Spirit, can you guide us on how to do this? Can you give us some guidance on how? We see that we're to have a certainty and to hold on to that certainty and have gratitude. I'm hearing gratitude again. Surrender the lost love. To surrender that lost love. Surrender is hard. And I'm seeing, she's on this ocean here, this water. Imagine that you're on that, and that current is just taking you where you need to be. There's such surrender in that posture that you can just lay down like that. With the moon in tarot, we often mean it as something like hidden. But this moon is revealing. This moon is revealing the path. You see it? But she doesn't have to do anything, but simply surrender into it. Surrender into that. Whatever you lost, the love of your business, the love of the way that your life was before. It could have been a relationship, romantic. It could have been with a family, a child. I keep wanting to I keep feeling like it's almost there. There could be a business part of it here, but there was something that you loved and reminiscing about was causing pain. And through holding on to this amethyst of certainty and confidence and surrendering and just trusting that doing that, speaking gratitude into it, even though a vow had been broken, even though there was some sort of possible betrayal. Maybe you betrayed yourself. Maybe somebody else betrayed you. But had that not happened, you wouldn't be on this new beautiful path. Do you see how beautiful that is? You wouldn't be there. Okay, values guiding this crossing. A long-term view, a metamorphosis, your soul, and the prayer. Ooh. Well, I'm really, this long-term view, the Seven of Pentacles, hard work, perseverance, having the diligence to trust, having the diligence to simply speak gratitude into it and allow the metamorphosis to happen. And allow that to be a prayer for your soul. I'm almost like seeing as if that hand is like reaching up into the amethyst. And as if like that is your soul within you, within it. Through prayer, this prayer of gratitude. This value, this is the value that's guiding your path, is having that long-term view of metamorphosis. Okay, where is your integrity going to be tested? Regret, the Five of Cups, disappointment, grief. I think you already know that. That's what's going to test you. A lack of balance. Being in the desert. Why did I say desert? Being in the desert, like solitude, too much solitude, loneliness. And we got the Mystic upside down. Yeah. That's what's going to test your integrity, is going back into the grief and possibly having bitterness about it. A lack of balance about it, a lack of balance with your shadow, I'm seeing. Giving in to the bitterness too much. And it's okay. It's okay to have feelings of anger, of bitterness, loneliness, regret, disappointment. They're just feelings. But it's when it gets out of balance, right? It's that lack of balance that then it's like we can't then like move through it like water. We can't just flow through it. So if you imagine that you are on this water, this river in the ocean being brought, you want it to simply as if like this here, as if she's being pulled forward. If this here, right here, was a little bit of leftover grief, regret, sadness, that she's able to simply just feel it and move through it. And just keep moving. And there was nothing wrong with moving through it. But she doesn't stay there. She doesn't stay stuck. Instead, she allows the current to bring her through. So we can feel these feelings, but we want to be careful, especially, we were asking Spirit, where is integrity? Where is your integrity going to be tested? And that, your integrity is for you, right? That's what you have won in this, because your integrity is helping you to become who you are called to become. More of you. And it's not somebody else, it's more of you. But it's through feelings of loneliness, solitude, being in the desert, that might test you in regret, sadness, disappointment, and simply a lack of balance of it, and a lack of believing in yourself. And believing in your gifts. So just move through it. Move through it. Spirit, can we have a little bit of guidance around, do you have any, what could ease maybe moving through that process so that they don't get stuck in a whirlpool of grief, sadness, negative nostalgia, regret? What could help them, Spirit? What can help unstick it, I want to say? This feels sticky. I think there's a lot of, I'm hearing a lot of confusion. A lot of, I don't know what to do. This feels messy. I think looking towards the sun and the message. What is the message though, Spirit? What is the message? What is the message? Recovery from loss? I'm a little bit confused of belief. Seeing the sun on the other side of this recovery. Well, I feel like this is a little bit redundant. Like what? Okay, we're gonna switch here to this. What is a little bit more specific that can help them? And I'm feeling very drawn to my herbal deck, even though I'm shuffling this one, so maybe both. Trust. Trust. And look at that horse up. We're entering, or you may be in the year of the horse when watching this, but trust. And I'm seeing this horse like if you can see that, it's like the ocean waves to me. That ocean of trust, of just moving through trust. That is simply what's going to, I think I'm just hearing the speaking it into existence, speaking to it into existence. I want to say it again, speaking it into existence, saying things out loud, then confirms the things that we want to happen. I'm hearing that we want to believe, just taking that action. And I'm seeing like walking ahead. As you walk ahead, you know, a lot of times in life we don't know what the next steps are, and we have to just keep walking. And that trust is like, I'm going to just take that step. I'm going to take that step, and the stone just appears as I take it. And so it's that step of trust that the current is taking you there. But there has to be, this active doing. There's an activeness on our part, I'm feeling, of that step. And when we step it, then the stone appears there. And it is this active surrender, like in here, where we don't have to do much except for trust. And that feels like a lot for most of us. That feels like a whole lot. Okay, the next step. Block out negative thoughts. Releasing negative thoughts and beliefs. Trust in the invisible. Oh my gosh. It's just the motion of air. I'm seeing look at the horses are the rivers in the air. Where did that horse go? The trust in the motion. Look at that. We have the motion, the waves or the air here. And like I said at the beginning, I got like, it was like the rivers of the air and the rivers of the ocean. This feeling of trust. And I got trust in the invisible. I got this bridge, which I'm seeing as if you put your hand out and it's just going to be created. But you have to put your hand out. Just like I was saying, you have to step, and then the stone on the path appears. And I got the 8 of Swords reversed. Releasing negative thoughts. Freedom, opening new perspectives. And when I saw her, the blindfold over her really stuck out to me, of like, I'm just not going to look at those negative thoughts. It's just so much about this. It's decision. It's a decision to surrender. It's decision to I'm just going to take the step. I'm just going to trust. I'm going to trust in the air, and I'm going to trust in the water, and this movement that's outside of me, that spirit is simply going to move things. I'm going to hold on to this stone of trust, this amethyst of certainty, of confidence, that when I step, the stone will appear. That when I lay down, the current will take me. That when I open my wings, the air will just make me fly. It won't just make me fly, it will make me run with the horses. The horses will take me in the air. So I'm just going to get on it. I'm just going to open my wings. I'm just going to take that step. I'm just going to dive in the water. And I'm going to do. Okay, so advice from Spirit. Now we're going to do my herbal deck. Advice from Spirit. Lots of trust here. Exciting. I felt one, and then it went. Completion. I heard it is finished. Comfrey. Comfrey is a plant of like extreme healing. We can make poultices out of it and put it on the skin, and it will heal the tissue underneath. But we have to be careful with it. But it's this extreme healing, and I'm seeing up here what looks like a goat running in the air, but also has a mermaid's tail, which seems to be going along with our theme. And look at the stone. Beautiful. Okay, let's read this. Okay. Where is my book? Oh, here's the book. Okay. $32. Completion. Whew. Achievement, completion of a cycle, success, closure, completion of a long journey, wholeness, mending. So comfrey mends. Wow. Comfrey, also known as bone set or knit bone, has been cultivated for its healing properties since 400 BC. It was used by the ancient Greeks, Romans, Celts, and many more to heal broken bones, bind wounds, and stop heavy bleeding. Comfrey represents wholeness, completion, and closure of a great cycle. The wreath symbolizes a cycle containing the energy of the past, present, and future, hovering over the clouds to note how the foundation of all cycles are grounded in mystery. Comfrey majestically grows in the center, representing the axis mundi, the sacred heart, the sacred will that pulses the great mystery. Comfrey has appeared today to signal that a great cycle is nearing completion. Stay aligned as you continue to prune and heal the garden of the self. Look closely into repeated patterns, persons, or situation that keep showing up in your life. Draw upon Comfrey's power to mend and find wholeness in lessons and patterns that need closure. Woo! I feel like this just summed everything up beautifully. Now that you've learned all of this and know what you need to know what you need to do, if you are needing to kind of look at more deeply what you have left behind, I have this video up here, one of those, and I will see you over